Welcome to Trading Lounge and the US tech stocks. We'll take a look at the NASDAQ, the S&P and the Triple Q, and then we'll move into the stocks. So as you're aware, we were looking at this as well. We've been looking at it as in a couple of different ways to the upside, but our primary count was a B wave up here and a C wave coming down through to here. And now that this move has really sort of rolled over here, we have a nice clear 5 waves down. Now that 5 waves down is not that clear on some of the futures markets, but on the ETFs and the cash market and so on, it's reasonably clear. So what we need to understand with stocks now, not all stocks are the same, as I've always mentioned, is that when you're approaching a top here, some stocks will roll over first, some will follow, some will continue to move to the upside. They're all a little bit different, and you just need to be aware of that. But in a nutshell, we're looking at from wave B to wave C here. We're looking for 5 waves, so we're looking at 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 5 here. And then we're looking for a move up at that point. Now, is it possible to have a bigger bear market down here? Well, anything is possible, but I try to move off the evidence. So after we do have 5 waves down here, then we can just simply say to ourselves, anything below that, we will be going lower at that time, at that point. So that's how we'll handle whatever's going to come out of the gate, so to speak. Yeah, so that's it. So this particular move down through here, if we have a look at this, it's on the one. Oh, sorry, I'll just go to the 20,000 ticks just so you've got a bit of so we've got our ABC up here, and I've got this 1 degree higher here, so in terms of labeling, but we've got wave 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5. So this is pretty much the gist of it here, and we're looking for a wave 2 here. How far that wave 2 comes up is, well, it can come back up to the 50-60%, but that's something that we'll look at there. This also counts quite nicely as an A and a B and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, by the way. So we could have one more drop here. But when I look at the Triple Q here, and this is one of the things that we've been using, we can see that we initially had this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I've put wave 1 there and 2 there today, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 we counted down. So yesterday we're looking for a wave 4 and then a wave 5 down here. So now we're into this wave 2 over here. I won't go into this in this particular video. This is also the same, that 5 waves down is the same for the SPY as well. So the SPY here, because the S&P is not that clear, but here it was clear. We had one, that was our first little inkling that we could confirm that we got 5 here, so we would get another 5. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. Now wave 2 is a funny critter because it's normally sharp and swift. It's technically can pull back up to one point with, the same as the top here, basically. That's where it can go to. So anywhere in that range is fine. So we just need to keep a little bit of an eye on that. When you get to the 50%, that's kind of, somewhere in 60% is sort of stretching it out a little bit. It's crossed the line at that point, so people get a little bit nervous, and those sort of things. And so it's just all human nature stuff. But anyway, we'll look at this, and we'll look at this on the stocks as well. When it comes to the S&P itself coming down through here, this is the futures and the CFD product. So we can look at, I could count this differently at the top here. I could also put wave 1 over here for this, but the obvious thing here is that we have this nice 3rd wave here for this, right? So yesterday we talked about taking some profit down here on top of group 1. We're seeing some sort of bounce now. We'll talk about the trade on this later in the next video, so I won't get into all of that at the moment. But this is basically what stocks are telling us. They've got, the majority of them have 5 waves down, okay? Not all of them, but most of them. And some of their counts look a little bit weird, and it's sort of, but we have to go with this. This is the main theme of the pattern at the moment, and the NASDAQ there. Now the Apple has really sort of fallen out of bed. This is a daily chart here. We normally look at the 1000 tick chart and the 100. So we all know the reasons why that's happened now, and yeah, so the way that I see it is there's no change. We were looking for the A, the B, and the C up here based on the 5 waves that we had down here. So when we think about what's happening with, like I just talked about with the triple Q and the S&P, they've all got 5 waves down, right? So this is probably how we need to look at this here. So we'll need to look at 5 waves down for Apple. So we'll be down here somewhere. We could look at this here also as a 50. I've got that upside down, haven't I? Have I? Oh no, I haven't. Sorry, I'm upside down. So yeah, that's basically, you know, the stretch marks limit. So anyway, so counting this down here should be wave 1 and 2 based on what we could see with, you know, with the triple Q of having 5 waves down here. It's just that the Apple has really stretched itself down here at the moment. So let's just go to where we normally go at 1000 here. So as you know, we've had these 5 waves down here, so we're looking for an ABC. We got the turn, we're short, and yesterday I counted 5 waves down here for 1 and 2 here. And yeah, but I think that what we need to do, I'm not sure, it'll take me another session to sort it out. What we should be doing is putting wave 1 down here and wave 2 over here, the same as the other stocks that we're looking at. And don't forget, we're going down to this area down here, down to the 150 area here. So we've still got nice room for a 3rd wave here for this. I mean, it looks like we could look at this as 1, 2, 3, 4 here, and then go down for wave 5 here, you know, come down into this low here as such and get a bounce from that point. So we'll need to be a little bit mindful of that. But you can be pretty much assured that now this move here has been, this low has been breached. That means in due course this low will be breached, because it confirms that breaching this low confirms that that actually is a corrective pattern at this point. Still, we need to manage our risk and everything else. So let's just go in and have a look a bit. So this should technically be the count. It just doesn't add up doesn't add up in terms of the actual structure when I've pulled it apart, because I've sort of double checked this. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, then we got another 5 waves here for the 3rd, the 4th, and then I counted all through here. Everything's accounted for. We had 1 and we're looking for 2. Didn't rally very high, and then you know, then we've had this move down here, which you would think would be like the wave 3 here, wouldn't you? That's what you'd think, and you'd think the wave 4 would be in play now for this, you know, as wave 4 here. That's what I would sort of think. But then it puts Apple behind the wave count with the majority of stocks, and we didn't want that because it was one of the leaders coming down. So I don't think it's a big problem at the moment. You know, we've got our short trade in here. We know that, you know, the triple Q here, let's just note this for a moment, this and many other stocks, some of them will, you know, be in front, some will be behind, but how long would it take to get to here, and how quick would that move? You know, and would it actually get there? Would it just cover the gap and come down? These sorts of things, you know, and so on. So, you know, that's the kind of thing that we're looking for. That would be a middle of the road situation. Yes, it could go higher, it could go lower, but that's kind of the center of it. So we've got really a bit of a session. So we may see Friday morning being positive and then Friday afternoon being bearish. And if Friday afternoon is being bearish, then Monday's going to be bearish as well. And this will move down quite quickly. Don't forget, we need to get down to 150 down here somewhere. you know. So I'm going to just copy that here. I can put that under the B wave here. That will be our next trade at this particular point. Because this move here is in as an ABC pattern here. This one here is 5 waves, so we should get 5 waves over here, which we've got. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we could look at that as the A wave. That would be a nice start. I mean, corrections can get a bit, you know, I mean, we could even put this here, actually. We could put this here and put that here and put that here, and we could put wave 4 here as well. We could do that. That's suitable. I mean, I can get probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of here, as long as that top doesn't get broken here, if that just drops straight down from here. But this is starting to look a little bit like it wants to, you know, move along further. So I think that would be, and looking at the triple Q, it would be sort of logical to put this up here a little bit higher, but this low should not be breached. And if it is breached, then we'll you know, we need to be short at that point. And yes, it could probably do this, and then we need to put the B wave over here as an A and a B and a C here, and then put the B wave over here. But because we've got, I wouldn't worry about it, because we're still going to go down further, because we've got plenty of profit here. We don't need to worry too much about things. What we want to try and do is capture that third wave coming down. That's the thing, you know, we want to capture this third wave coming down here. So I'll just put these over here, put this back over here. I always call 8 a profit-taking number, so I think that would be, and based on the triple Q and a few other little things, I think that would be a nice little place to look to, you know, short this in here somewhere. You just need to be able to, I'm going to turn it green, but you just need to, you don't need to sort of bet the house on it, of course, but you just need to kind of see weakness, you know. And yeah, so this is probably wave 1 and 2 here. We could probably look at it like that, but it could easily change as well at this point. I don't know, so don't just take this with a pinch of salt. If it moves up, well, then that will give you a starting point, and then this would be wave 1 and 2, and 1 and 2 of the third wave moving up here, you know. Is that going to be the case? I don't know. It could be. I mean, that's my sort of best bet, but you know, I wouldn't sort of hold your breath on that either. But I think generally speaking, this is kind of where we're sort of looking, you know. And then also too, we want to be short. See this here under here. That's fine. We can bring this over here to short, but it's probably around the 175 here as well. We want to get a few more shorts in at this point. So we want to try to get one up here somewhere, and this is also group 2 here as well. I'm just going to remove that. That makes this group 2 kind of good. So basically, instead of shorting it under here, you want a classic trading levels pattern under the 176.50 here. And if it moves up to here somewhere, and then you can see if it moves, this is the same with the other markets as well. If it moves up here and you can't count it, but you get up here somewhere and then you see a sharp drop like that, then you know that it's done at that point. You don't need to chase the drop, because there will be a rally for that, and then it'll give you that low to work in, and then just work group 2 here. Once the group 2 here, this is just trying to retest this number here, and group 2's in the way here. So this is going to become the support over here if it gets up here. So if this comes over here eventually and finds this as the resistance over here, then you can look to add to that again. It's just a game of support and resistance. Most winning trading systems are based on that. They just don't see it like that, that's all. We all see things differently. Anyway, these just need to be sort of small bets, and as you get confident in it coming down, well, then you can just keep feeding the beast. So Amazon, so we've got a short position here and here. We took some profits here. It has dropped down further, so I'm going to extend this down as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here as well, and then the ABC pattern here. So this is a little bit shorter lived here. This is yeah, this will just probably move up into this 62 to 65% pocket area here at 138, and then drop from that point. So this one over here we want to short that. But what you can also do too, if it comes up here and you can see that it's working its way down here in some way, you know, some sort of structure here, then you'll get another low over here somewhere, and then you can work that one, do you know? And then this 35 here, you want to be adding to that again as well. So under the 135 here, there's going to be a bounce off 3 for sure. Group 1 is always, you always get a bounce off 3, always good. I mean, I'd never wait for 3. I'd always go put another little 3 in here as well, the 30 in here to take profit, those sorts of things. But that's sort of where that is. I mean, we should have a look at this in the bigger picture actually. So basically we got this, looking at it as an A wave here and a B wave here and a C wave coming down over here further for this. But let's just go to a bigger picture here. I want to show you some of the implications of some other things here, because picking tops of the market is a bit of a mug's game, but we've been lucky so far. So for this here, we could, I mean, this doesn't count very well in here. I mean, I've got it as an A wave, a B wave, and C wave down here for wave 4 is one account. And then we could have this as wave 1 to the upside, and 2 here, and 3, and just continue to go up there. You know, we're in a bullish trend and it has moved sideways. But based on the rest of the markets, we're looking for 5 waves down here. That's basically what we're looking for, and then a move up at that point. So there's 2 counts kind of going on here with this. I've left this trend line in here because it will come handy over here on the last test. I can see that it's important here and here and here. So that 138 really comes in quite nicely over there. But this wave 4 here would be the alternative count here. We can see the stochastics are really stretched up here. So it's, I mean, if I looked at this at face value, I'd like to have a long trade, but I know because of the rest of the markets, I have to do what I'm told. The market's the boss. And yeah, so we'll just look for this to fade into that 138. That would also be a nice little short in there as well. But it's nice to confirm it. It's a bit of a, I mean, it's hanging, it's hanging in there. Do you know what I mean? It's one of the, not the strongest market, but it's one of the strongest markets at the moment. Google's in there with it as well. We're expecting another high from Google. Meta made another high last night, but I think that's top now. Those sorts of things. So yeah, we want to keep building this. And once this moves down here, you know, look, put it this way, once group 2 here, 136.50, once that becomes the retested resistance, and you should have a trade in here on that, that's what this is, then you can bring this stop down here onto this here. Okay, but otherwise we need to leave it out the way at the moment. So you could probably push this into here for a very small trade, but I won't do that. I'll just leave it. I'll wait because there's because there's a possible long trade in all of this. I'll just wait for the next 5 waves down. That's why we shorted here, because we had 5 waves here. Now it wasn't the best, you know, we understood that, but it was safer. So we're going for safety first. Okay, so over to Nvidia. So Nvidia, so I mean, the thing is, you know, normally there's like a bit of equality between wave A and wave C over here. So Nvidia may not come all the way down like the other markets, but so they're sort of playing on my mind a little bit as well. So I've got this down as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, and then we shorted it after those 5 waves, so that was all good. And we've got wave 2 here, got wave 3 here, took a little bit of money off the table. And yesterday we took some money off the table here again, here. So we're pretty light on the short side at the moment. Yeah, so I think we'll still come down further in all of this. Now, obviously getting through this low over here is going to be a problem. So we need to, this is the same sort of pattern that Apple's doing at the moment. So we're looking at this, it's scooting along quite nicely. The short covering, people covering at this point. So yeah, I mean, it could rally a reasonably high at this point if we take this here and put this here. It could, not saying it will, but it could come this high. The other one, I mean, all these are important. So when you go from, it's always good to go from the top to the bottom and put in your, put this in here. And then what you'll see is that the first one's a 23.6. We can see it stalling at that point. So it's going to stall at the 38.2. It's going to stall at the 38.2 anyway, because of this is here. So I would imagine that this here is really about where it's going to go to at this point. So when you're shorting markets, it's just good to have a look at the rest of the markets around you as well, to try to find out who are the leaders in the rally and what does their structures look like, and look at the followers and all these sorts of things. So we could move this up to here now. Do I need to put that over here? Do I need to put that there? It's more like a C wave, isn't it? It's got to probably go there. That will be 1 and 2. This will be 1, 2, 3, 4. So this will be 4, that'll be 5, and then there'll be this one, and then there'll be this one here, and it'll hit that supply here. That's about it there somewhere, I reckon. And then we come down. So we could use this 1, 6, the lower end. This is also group 2 here as well. So we've got 80 here, 72, and 65. So if this market gets itself up into 65 here, it's going to have a bit of a hassle here, you know, because this is 1 and 2, and this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the third wave, fourth wave, and fifth wave. Once it gets up here, what you can do is look for this to become the resistance here. There will be something like this here, and then this move here, this can come over to here for that. Because if that comes down, once you've got that low in there, then it's been, that number's been retested and it's failed to find support in here. Don't do it here. It needs to be over this side, okay? I've probably drawn this too big as well, so just take, it's not going to be as big as that, but yeah, that sort of thing. And then what you can also do here is that this 160, that's an important number. So this here, this could come over to the 160 area here. So once that, I mean, obviously that's going to come down, bounce off it, and come through, and then there's going to be quite a few little bounces in here, and then eventually go down. Now you may get it right and you may get it wrong, but basically if you look for the safety factor, you're looking for that to be, you know, the resistance at that point. I'll put this back over here because I'll just all shrivel up at that point. Yeah, and then the other point here, see this low over here? This is why I've got this here. This is going to get very bouncy here as well. You know, there's going to be all sorts of things going on in this space. So you have to, you know, this will be a rodeo ride here, not for the faint-hearted. So eventually it will be and drop at that point, you know. So then you can put this over here once you feel like you've got a low in place here, you know. Okay, so Meta Platforms made a new high here, so we're going to call that the high, and we're going to go short under here, but we could bring it up under here. We're looking for some sort of ABC. It may already be in place at the moment. There may be another little high here. I'm not quite sure. I haven't actually pulled that up. I don't know if that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. I haven't pulled it apart, but under the 295 as a retested resistance would be a nice place to start that. And you can see this floor through here. So you see how it became support here. So that low there is, that thing there is what you're looking for over here. So you're looking for, you know, there's going to be another spike here. It won't bounce as high. And there could be a couple coming in here, you know. It'll be a tough nut to crack, but that's the one that you want. You could probably sell it up at blue too at the moment. But that's, you know, that's high risk at that point. And Netflix, so I'm going to consider this just like the triple Q, the 5 waves down here. So I can kind of see it with 1 and 2 in here, and 3, 4, and 5 here. We've got a little short trade in here. We're going to add another one in here. In fact, we talked about this yesterday. Now that I see this little fatty in here, so I'm just going to remove that. And now that we've got the 5 waves, we can put that under here. you could probably short it up in this space here too, but you know, we're in an uptrend and you kind of want to make sure that you've got a little bit of, you know, evidence before you start shooting your gob off. So that's that. And Alphabet here. So with Alphabet here, we're looking at 1, 2, 3, and ABC for 4, and then going up for 5. Now I could be wrong, and this particular thing here may be part of this here. It's possible. I mean, it was the same problem with Amazon. This one, it's the same sort of pattern in a way. So this could be down for 1, back for 2, down for 1, back for 2, that sort of thing, or you may be able to squeeze something else out of it. It doesn't really matter, but we need to be short below here. Otherwise, this market will just continue to climb up here, and we'll look to short it on the once it turns and moves down at that point. So it's kind of, you know, doing its own thing, and that's cool. But we need to be short under that. And then we come to Microsoft. So Microsoft, we're looking at this as being the A, the B, and the C. And there's a fair bit more to this, really. If I just go get a bit more data in here, even more data in here, just to, you know, it's come down for all this way here. Do you know what I mean? So just, you know, and we're looking at this as a corrective rally, as an A and a B and a C wave up here. It's not really displaying the best 5-wave structure to the downside at the moment, and you could count this, and you could certainly count this in different ways, you know. I could just put wave 1 over here as well, and wave 2 over here. I could look at this as 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. I could do it quite a few different ways, so it doesn't really sort of matter at this point. We do have a short position in here. We're keeping the stop above the top here, and we're going to look to, now we've got that first low below the level here at the 330. This is group 1 here, and there's a lot of support here, you know. So this is another, I mean, this to me is a long trade. I'd be telling folks to go long, you know. I'd start up here, come down to here, come down to here, and I'll be coming down, or look for another little classic trading level pattern on here and go long at that point. But that's not what the rest of the markets are telling us. So this one's sort of like sticking up here like chewing gum, and as it sort of gets older up here, it will just dry out and drop. So that's what we're looking for, that once it finishes, once it lets go, if that's the case. But yeah, and the other thing here is too, is you could probably add to the position once this level here becomes the retested resistance, but it's going to be very messy. This 28 here, this will all be group 2 here, so you can put in group, this is 5 and 8 here, so put in the rest of group 2 here and you'll capture all of that, and probably short under group 2 would be the best thing to do. So I'll leave that up to you. Yeah, 326.50 would be the lower end. And then we go over to Tesla, and we talked about Tesla, you know, yesterday, with this ABC pattern up here coming into its 50-60%, and then we had this 5 waves down here, and we had this 5 waves down, and so we got this other 5 waves down, but we ended up with a B wave here. So I'm thinking this will stay with wave 1 here, with an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave up here, and then drop. So what we'll do now is, I'll just move this out the way for a moment, is we need to be short under this low, or the 245 is a retested resistance. And let's just assume this is 1 and 2 here, and this is 3 and 4 and 5 up here. When this comes down here and leaves the first low below the level, then you can get one small position at that point, a part position. And then when this comes down here and put the trend line across here, but it'll be about this number here becoming the retested resistance, then you can look to short under here as well. And you could do the same at the 240 as well here. So that's sort of where we are. This is another one like Microsoft. It doesn't want to let go of that number. But if it does let go of it, we'll be there waiting. It's that simple. And if it goes up, well then we've done all the right things in our setup here, so we're safe, you know. And the stop would have to go above here, by the way, by the by. And I'll just put that in there while we're here. Otherwise, I'll forget what I've said. So that's everything. So all good. Thanks for tuning in and enjoy the weekend. Cheers.